Well, boys, what a long, strange trip it's been, but I am actually back. New Zealand is 100% the first place that I've been that I thought, yeah, I would totally live here. Did I sleep in a hobbit hole? Well, I don't know if the Hilton necessarily is a hobbit hole, but I did check out the hobbit town. I actually have some, photos. I guess I gotta give you guys the full breakdown. First, we got to the airport, and it was like 5 hours to the flight, so that's 5. I'm just gonna count the hours. 31 hours. Okay, it was about that long of travel. Going San Francisco to New Zealand is 13 hours. Time to play some RuneScape, right? Apparently, the only app that doesn't work is RuneScape because for some reason it detected it like it was a streaming service and it's just like, you can't do this. So it wouldn't let me connect to the server. So no RuneScape all the way down there, unfortunately. Any 0.3 leaks? There is actually one 0.3 leak. I recorded 5 interviews, but we're not there yet, okay? We'll get there. But I mean, the seats are like real close to you, right? And I'm a tall guy, so my knees are like into the seat for 13, like they're here for 13 hours, right? But then the guy in front of us, okay, and the guy in front of us was smart. He got the seats where there's no one in front of him. He has a wall, so they have like, they can put their feet out like this, right? I'm like, oh, that's smart. That was nice. So on the way back, I picked those seats because I didn't even think about that. But then for some reason, he felt the need on both of us to recline his seat. And he's taking the real estate out of my kneecaps actively. And he's doing a lot of repositioning. It's bouncing this fucking chair. Like, you know how when you're leaned back, there's still some give? Like, that give was the problem. It wasn't the lean back that was the problem. It was the give. That was the problem. I have nowhere to go. It's like, bro, you might as well sit in my fucking lap if we're gonna do this the whole way, my dude. So I unironically ended up sitting like this for 13 hours. On the chair, feet like this, like I do sometimes in this chair, like a monk, and just meditated my way out of the thing. Good Lord, dude. That one was brutal. But I learned my lesson. Learn my lesson. Do not take middle seats in the middle aisle, in economy, in the back with a big guy in front of you. That is the wrong move. That was a skill issue. Okay, I arrived Sunday. The morning of Monday, I was supposed to like go to work. You know what I mean? Like my first day on the job, or what you want to call it. We actually visited the studio. I thought for sure that when I got there, there would be like some kind of agenda. They're going to walk you on a tour. You know, then here's what we have planned out. There was literally none of that, which is wild to say when you're visiting like a studio. Normally that shit is 100% guided. Sounds bad? No, you don't get the wrong impression. It is a cool thing because when I arrived, Jonathan told me, he's like, here's a key to the office. Have fun, boy. And I was like, are you kidding? You're giving me a key? So he's like, yeah, just, you know, that's that guy. That's that guy. Go have fun. Everyone's just at their desk working. And then here comes little old DM. Hi, I'm Casey. Like, can you tell me what you do? Literally, that was the entire thing. It ended up becoming like the most organic way to actually learn behind the scenes. And the thing is they said you can grab anyone you want and throw them into an interview. So while you're there, just like find guys you want to talk to and be like, hey, we're gonna get you on camera now. But like I was like, I don't want to just like grab random guys, and like the way I introduce myself is like in front of the camera. So I ended up talking. I'd go around and talk to anybody for like an hour or so and kind of get the vibe of them. And then I'd be like, do you want to sort of repeat this conversation but on camera now that you're, you know, a little bit more familiar, that I'm not just a random ass? There was a total of 7 people I was able to get on camera. We did interviews, ended up being 5 total interviews. A couple quick things about 0.3 that I can say, which is one, there's actually no NDA. I'm just not gonna be an asshole, so I'm not gonna leak anything or whatnot. There is one leak in one of the interviews that I was like, hey, just so you know, this guy says this in this interview. Do you want me to cut it out, as it is technically a 0.3 like spoiler of some new stuff that's coming? And they said, no, it's fine. So if you watch the interview with the environmental and art people, there you will get one little small confirmation of something that is coming. That is the most spoiler you can get out of me. And other than that, the other spoiler I would tell you is that I actually recorded a voice line for a monster. I got along real great with the audio people. And the audio people were just hilarious. I mean, what you expect? Like half of them are in a fucking band together. They're just chill, dudes with long hair. Then I spent like an hour recording voice lines, or I say voice lines, but really it's growling. Let's be honest, like attacks and stuff. Okay, here you go. So here's your boy. Dude, you know what's weird is they would sit there and they would tell you like, okay, like we need you to make just random growling noises for like a full minute, a literal full fucking minute, just like it's like Jesus. And then this is in an office, so like the people outside could fucking hear me.
So this one's a little bit shorter, should be a little bit punchier, and then later when we get to that, it'll be like way more.
Okay.
Can you try to go for a little bit more explosive at the end?
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. This is way stupider watching the video. Dude, my voice was shattered by the end of this.
Super explosive ones.
Okay.
You feel free to get a bit creative with this one.
Okay.
Nice. These sound so cool.
So they have like these. Okay, so to give you an idea why I'm like doing the thing, they literally have a TV in front of you, and like on the TV is the monster. Like it has a mock-up of the monster that I'm supposed to be doing, and they have the animation tied to it, so you can like see what the dude is doing. So what I'm trying to do is like do the motion that the monster's doing, so I could like feel what it would look like. I don't know if I'm explaining it. Yeah, maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but I'm trying to mimic what the dude's doing to get an idea of like, you know, how I would be phrasing it. I don't know how. I mean, it's literal growls. I don't know. And a lot of these are like the same fucking sound effect over and over again.
Man, this is sick. Because you play the game, you know what
roughly
sounds that we're needing. So
I need water, bro. I was fucking dying.
It's nice. It's cool. It's
as long as it's somewhat usable, I guess.
Yeah, dude, like the last shit, I was like, yeah, all of it's gonna get used. Trust me.
Dope. I didn't realize like how much of like the body you gotta like position, like tense yourself or something to get the sound. Yeah.
It's intense, man.
It's hard to like not do samey on literally everything.
Yeah,
it's like it kind of needs to be the same, but also not. You know?
Yeah. You'd be surprised though. Like you try and do the exact same thing, and to you it sounds the same, but on a recording, it's like actually sounds different.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually the way he's saying is actually like super true because like I thought I sounded like a fucking idiot. But then by the time he had processed it a little bit, and you know what's hilarious is the whole processing took him like less than a minute. He just like, okay, now I add this and I twist this and boom, there you're done. I was like less than a minute and he had me sounding like a monster. I was like, oh shit, that actually sounds like kind of good. Like by the time he had, this is just the raw audio, but like by the time he had it edited, it sounded pretty good.
Heaps of good stuff.
Dude.
It's really hard to do the like aggro sounds. Because like there's no animation for it. So it's just like, what does a monster sound like when he sees you? I don't know how the fuck to do that. It's like death sound effects.
Nice. And we'll get kind of like hell yeah, dude. Yeah. Thank you, Casey.
Love it. That was fun, dude. That was like probably the funnest part of the trip. And it's not all of it. We cut some out. It was like an hour or something. So you got a little bit of there's the closest to a 0.3 spoiler you're going to get. That's one of the monsters in there. That's that sound effect. So this is what the process sounds like. You can sound it's a little bit edited. So there you go. So that's some of it. So you got to tell me when you get into 0.3 if you actually find my voice. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see how many people actually run into it. So this is okay. So let me give you a little bit of context of why I'm standing around. They were blabbing this whole time. These guys are fucking awesome, by the way. They were yapping about how cool their audio tools are. And these guys, they just have their own equipment. He kept telling me about this really cool thing that's based upon, I forget who it was. I'm not an expert on the music stuff, but there was a guy who played guitar using a drill and picks. And then this is a whole tool that he bought that was set up on that, and he wanted to show what it actually sounds like. So there's a whole bunch of videos of him trying to like get this to actually work, which was fucking hilarious.
You can't just get it going.
This was the cool, by the way, this is Michael. He's in one of the interviews, and he was a phenomenal person. So like they have so much cool stuff. The audio, I spent a lot of time with the audio guys because the audio dudes were fucking awesome. Jin is the guy who runs some of the interviews. Like when I was recording the interviews, he was the guy like doing the setup and the cameras, and he's the guy who let me do the the voiceover for the monster I recorded. So shout out to Jen, one of the coolest dudes I've ever met in one of these trips.
If I start flicking through all of the presets, last time I like almost broke.
Sounds like you're about to make a Star Wars droid. You know the best part is the part that they spent the most time. This is how you know these guys just love their fucking hardware. The thing that they spent the most time explaining literally has just never even been used. This isn't in any of the upcoming 0.3 content. And he's still figuring out how to use it. So like he's mostly excited to show me this thing, but it has exactly 0 seconds of screen time and literally anything.
Yes, this is a necessary tool for me.
Yes, 100%. Never been used, right? Get it through the speakers.
I've done like a couple of sound effects with it. Yeah. But the problem is I'm only limited to using it for like 5 minutes at a time. It makes so much noise.
Yeah, if he turns this on, I can't work.
Yeah, okay, so like you kind of get the vibe of it. Like that's what I was saying. Like I was very surprised. It's like the whole office is that way. It's just all like dudes having a good time. So do you think I can eat this guy? Maybe. What up, Path of Exile? PoE in chat spotted. The audio interviews were like actually super interesting. We have the music one we'll watch today. The plan is I'll go through this B-roll footage they showed. I won't watch the Zaki interview because I haven't had a chance to see that one yet. Then we'll watch the Camille interview, the Camille one I did. How many of you guys are actual music people and know what the fuck you're looking at? Because like I can play music a little bit, like ish, but I don't, I can tell you what the hell I'm looking at here other than obviously it's an analog synth, right? You know what it reminds me of is, okay, when I was a kid, we had these little electronic kits where you'd like put the one wire into the other wire and make like a light bulb. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like the shit you'd have when you're a kid. It's like, you were like, oh, and connect this wire with this one. You'd have like a little panel, looks like a little baby version of this. And it would have like a switch that flips or something and like a one light that goes on. Oh, that's like basically that's what it kind of reminds me of. Have you seen the new Last Epoch trailer? No, we have a lot to go through. There's actually, we have one full interview that I will drop in the live stream tonight. We also have, they have a previous one they uploaded on their channel I haven't seen yet, and we'll kind of pick through the one. I think we have the Camille music director interview. Rating can be shown. Oh yeah, so I was talking to Fabian, and I was saying that he's one of the environmental guys over there, great guy. And he knows RuneScape also. So I was talking about, there is a design and unique that I get to do. You guys remember the Valdo's puzzle box? So remember this was a promotion they did before the launch of PoE 2, in which inside is a random code, 90% chance to get a divination card, 10% chance to get a design your own unique. And I got lucky as so if you were one of the people that got the design unique, you actually got extremely lucky. But anyway, the point being that we get to design a Path of Exile 2 unique from that promotion. And I was talking about wanting to do because I've kind of had this concept where I wanted to do like a RuneScape party hat, or like a blue party hat or something in the game. But then Fabian had, he's like, you should do it where it's just, they drop in different colors. So you get all like 7 of the colors of the party hat can drop. So you like try to collect the set. And maybe it doesn't even have any stat associated with it. It's just a collector's unique that can drop. So I was like, well, here's an idea. It only drops on the first day of the league. And then after that, they no longer drop through the league. So it's exactly like RuneScape back in the day where party hats would drop on the first day. You can get them. And then the amount of them will only ever become less. And they have no stats. So it's not a power thing. It's just a collector's idea. I don't know if they're actually going to add that or not. Stupid idea. Well, you're a stupid idea. I like my idea. Thank you very much. Okay, so back to this here. So the office layout. How do I describe this? This is like John and Mark's office. So you have Mark here. You have Jonathan here. It's basically how this works. This is like the office here. And you have these desks and people sitting like this, right? Okay, it's like this. And then you also have desks like here. Okay. And then you have people sitting here like this. And then you have more desks like this. And then you have a row of people like here like this. So you have sort of like a surrounding, and over here is like the lunch table, etc. And the way that it kind of works is you'll have like the different departments sort of sitting next to each other that interact with each other. So you'll have like environmental and map layout, right? Like this, where they just kind of like constantly interact with each other. And then you have like, I talk to the animators, I talk to visual effect people. And I would say, and then upstairs, let's see, like you have upstairs up here is, this is like stairs, right? Upstairs, you have like audio. And then downstairs, you have like a separate interview room. And so the part that surprised me the most is they like don't do meetings at all. They don't really like meetings because they think if you have something you to say to somebody else, just walk over and say it to them. The biggest impression I got from the whole thing was that there's basically no sense of like bureaucracy or red tape or anything. It's just, if you have an idea, it just goes up and they just talk to each other. So would you say they're very aware of community feedback, or do you have some ideas, feedback, surprise them? Absolutely. Like the people there are acutely aware. Like there's basically nobody there that's just like, oh, I don't know what game we're making. I'm just making like the rocks for it. Like everyone there like is very familiar with the game, community sentiment, what they're building. Most of the people I talk to have like 1,500 to 2,000 hours minimum in the game. It's not, how to say this without saying shots at other companies. No one there is like just clocking in. Does that make sense? Like the people know what they're doing. Okay, here's the beach. Check that out. This was maybe an hour away from where we were staying. We went and checked this out. This is a black sand beach there. It was pretty nice. What else do I have here? Here's another photo. It's absolutely beautiful there. That's literally a star PoE1. Yeah, basically. I mean, this is where you wake up here. The problem is I've been on the beach like plenty of times in PoE1, so this was a little bit of a PTSD moment for me. Okay, this is me and the girlfriend on the way to Hobbit Town. There you go. Some of what was weird is the Hobbit doors were not all like the same size. It's not like to a certain scale. It's depending upon what they're doing. So some of the Hobbit places were very, very, very large, like large enough to actually go in. And some of them were like half the size of that. I think the largest one was like 83% scale or something like that. And some of them were like half. Here's another one for you. That was for the forced perspective filming. Yeah, they had a tour guide that's kind of explaining it. Here's a good one that kind of shows you this is the whole layout, basically. That's what Hobbit Town itself actually looks like. Is that as beautiful in person as it was in the movies? You know, the Hobbit, I don't know if you're talking about New Zealand in particular or Hobbit Town, but the Hobbit Town was basically not what I expected. The Hobbit Town was way, way, way more vertical. It was not, like this makes it look flatter than it was. And this is me standing on top of the hill. Like they have a big hill and they're like built almost on top of each other, which was not what I thought. Like I thought it was going to be like much more open and like rolling hills. And that is as flat as it gets there. And that was just looking this way, but it's basically a giant hill. But the zoo was way cool. I actually have photos of the zoo. I'll show you. The zoo was wild, by the way. The zoo that was in Auckland would never happen in the U.S. Okay. Oh, yeah. So this is the actual one from the movie, right? Here's a better one to give you a sense of scale a little bit. There you go. This photo I posted on Twitter. What else do we have? This is the party business sign. This was inside one of the Hobbit holes. You actually can go inside one of the Hobbit holes. And it looks sort of like this. It's like 83% to scale. So like I have to duck a little bit. I'm a little too tall for it, but it was actually quite nice on the inside there. And then this is kind of going more towards the inn. And the inn is straight ahead and they had like beer for you. And I never got carded once. They just give you beer, which was great. I guess they just believe you. And this is kind of like walking over. This is walking over the actual, bridge there towards the green, was it Green Dragons Tavern or something like that? Which is pretty cool. A couple photos of that there. That was the most beautiful spot of it. And then that's kind of Hobbiton. Okay, so now let's talk about the zoo. Because the zoo is like, I cannot believe this is the American like lawsuit part of my brain of me. But when I was walking around the zoo, I could not fucking believe that this is how the zoo works. Animals, I shit you not, are just there. Like they're not, okay, the tigers and shit are like enclosed, but the other animals, there is the equivalent of a stick between like you and a rhinoceros. I mean, they're just there. This bird, I could have reached down and poked him in the eyeball. Like he was like as far from me as like my monitor. It's like, this is unbelievable. That fence in Alaska wouldn't hold a dog in. Okay, I mean there are bigger fences to hold a chihuahua in than this fucking rhinoceros. Now, unless there's some invisible something I don't see, like you can kind of see down here, there's like a thin wire, and maybe that shit is the voltage is cranked to God, and you know it would fry Jesus or something. Like unless there is an insane amount of voltage on that wire, I was looking at this thing like the meme, like I'm in danger. And I could have hopped this thing and tried to ride him. This would never happen. This would never happen in the US. Kids would be stamped out 10 times a day, bare minimum. This fence is cosmetic only. Like the amount of faith that they have in this rhino just really not having a bad day is insane. Like this, if this was America, this would have, this would be a glass wall. On the other side of it would be 3 layers of electric fence, and you'd have a guard with a machine gun in the corner. Like they would never trust this dude. Any spoilers for PoE 2 or drafts only? This is a draft stream. Okay, so if you're here for PoE 2 leakage, I'm sorry to tell you, you're mostly going to get anima leakage. This is the Weta Workshop. So we checked out the Weta Workshop, and they do like I mean, obviously there's Alien there. They did like Lord of the Rings. They did Borderlands. I got some pretty good photos of this. Let's see here. Oh, another photo of another draft. Just kidding. We're back to the draft live stream. There you go. Oh yeah, here's another. They have all these cool mottos. Check that out. That's pretty good, right? There's your boy on the throne, which is pretty cool. They have a giant throne here, and they have a little thing like takes a photo of you and then you pay for it. But I was just like, hey, I own a phone, so why don't you just do the phone? So there's that. And then we have the new interview should be, let's see here. All right, Camille, you said you've been here for 13 years. So this is the interview. So this is the interview with the music director. I haven't seen this edited one yet. Jim edited this together. But we did, the very first thing I did when I went there is I said, where's Camille's room? And I went up and I pounded on his door and I said, Camille, for the love of fuck, please let me talk to you. And so there's 5 different interviews that happen in this room, and this is one of them here. So I got nervous in the big room. I'm not going to lie. It's a way bigger room than it looks like. And what you don't realize is like, okay, so when you're in here, first of all, there is a screen right here that you don't see that has the goddamn chat on it. Okay? So if you're live, the fucking Twitch chat is right there. Like it's literally on a big screen. So holy shit. Like I don't even look at chat when I'm doing an interview because I'll read one message which is like DM is looking ugly as fuck today and it'll throw off my entire vibe. So that was surprising, but you know what? So be it. I guess they like to face the music live. So you know what? Props to them. This will also be released on YouTube. So if you just want to watch it without me blabbing, but like I'm gonna try to give context to like the trip and the questions I'm asking and stuff. What I found was on the way over, like the 13 hours, I was saying like I couldn't play games and stuff on the plane because the Wi-Fi was bad. So I just re-listened to the entirety of the PoE 2 OST, like just back to back to back. And I made notes. I have I have this like notepad, this like e-ink notepad I was making notes on. And what I found out was that the more that I prepared and the more that I did questions like pre and advance, literally the worse my interviews were. So by the end of these, when I was getting more comfortable, this was the first one, so I was more nervous on this one. But like by the end of these, I found out the best way to do it was just grab some guy that like works on something I'm curious about and then just talk to him. Because like if the more you're prepared, the less you're like going with the flow of the conversation, and the more you're just like going down the list of the questions you have. And I had pages and pages of like notes and questions and all this shit for all these people. But I found it was almost all worthless because you really just have to listen to what they're saying and then just ask follow-up after follow-up. Like that seemed to be the best way of doing it. So this was probably the best interview practice I got. When I asked you earlier when we were off camera, you mentioned that there was modern inspirations too. And you talked about Expedition 33, for instance. Yeah. And so my question for you would be, as time has gone from like earlier production, you said you listened to the Super Metroid OST recently, right?
Yes.
And so as hardware has continued to develop, do you find that having more hardware has opened up so many options that the ceiling of music you can produce has gotten like significantly higher?
Like, you know, when you said Metroid, Castlevania, everything like that, you had a very simple sound and almost the same sound, but you had different melodies, different chord progressions, and you really had to focus on that aspect. While today you have so much freedom, like I would say horizontally and vertically, like everything. It's like the vast options with creating new sounds, more interesting themes, orchestration, big ensemble, 100-piece choirs. Like there's so much stuff which you can use. Then you take that and you process this to the point that it's like you can barely recognize what was the source, but it sounds even more interesting. So I would say the amount of options these days can be almost like crippling because what shall I use?
Paralysis by analysis. Dude, the hardest thing about interviewing these guys is because I'm actually legitimately like interested in what they're saying. I want to like have a conversation as opposed to listening. So he'll go off on like a really wide tangent, and like I want to be like, oh yeah, like I agree, like input my opinion, or be like, oh yeah, well I think this, or how have some related story. But because it's a fucking interview, the only point is to listen to the guy you're interviewing. So I have to like purposely shut the fuck up like the entire time. But it's like, I want to be like, oh yeah, when I was playing this game, I felt like there's all this stuff like I want to say, but you just can't say fucking anything. You just have to sit there and wait, and then like wait for a good thing to like poke him to get him going again. And so that was another hard thing I learned with the interview. It's like, there's so many interesting things. Like I want to chip in like my point of view or like, it's like kind of ask another like question centered to it. But you just have to let them go forever. I mean, not just Camille, but like all these guys in Germany.
Yeah. So it's very important to be able to like reduce, like narrow down options quickly. That's like a big part of the job, in my opinion.
When you have a boss fight that's at the end of an area, do you very often like try to fit themes that happened previously to the area into it? Like I asked the same question to the level design guys, like, hey, are you building up the level, and then at the end are you doing the same thing on the music side of it, where you try to kind of leave little hints in as to what the boss fight music might actually end up being?
Like the themes, that's something like I could talk about themes forever. I love the idea where you have the boss fight and then you can hear that theme being foreshadowed. You want to make sure that players are accustomed with specific theme so they can connect everything, and you have this on micro level and on the macro level. You hear some snippets, some maybe 1 or 2 notes, or you hear just a signature sound.
So you're working backwards typically is what it sounds like, kind of you do the boss side of it first.
It's part of the palette for the act, for the toolkit, for specific instruments. The theme is a part of that. Sometimes few themes, and many times they have some connection.
Since this was the first interview, I started asking the same question to other people because I was curious if this was like a something that was consistent across it. And very often they actually do. You see it in the interviews, but very often they actually work from the boss backwards. So it's like they'll create a boss arena or they'll have a boss concept or something, and then things are kind of built around that, which is makes sense actually when you think about it. When you think about something like Geonor, and then you build the manor around him, like you'll see more when we get to the environmental and the map layout guys were good to talk to you about that concept in particular. But this is when this got put on my radar. Like I didn't realize that they actually work backwards a lot of the times. So for the upcoming content 0.3 here, should we expect sort of more of kind of similar vibes to what we've already heard, or Jim, there's no spoilers in this, right? Wait, hold on. Jim, we're about to this is 0.3. There's no spoilers, right, Jim? Let me just 1 second. 1 second. Okay, no, we're good. We're good. Okay, so there's nothing. Okay, no, we're good. We're good. Heard, or are you going to be going with something a little bit different?
It's gonna be different.
Okay.
Yeah. Tribal.
Okay.
That's the one for sure. Badass will be there for sure. I would say even some simple, some not really specific words like serious. Like something that's very serious, because some boss fights could be a little bit quirky.
Sure. Yeah.
And some of them actually could be quirky from upcoming stuff.
More teasers, Camille!
I would say tribal for sure, but also there's a bit of a menacing, like overwhelming, terrifying. Yes.
Okay, that's some good hints.
Yeah, and if you have enough of those keywords, you actually have idea that it's not any generic boss fight. It's something more specific, even though every single of those
He's trying really hard to spoil without spoiling here.
keywords could be like used for pretty much every boss fight, you know?
I didn't realize that was an hour already.
Yeah.
I would have kept blabbing for a while.
Yeah, just a minute under an hour.
Jim, why would you keep that part in there? Gotta humanize you? God damn it, Jim. That was the Camille interview. If you guys missed part of that, I will have that uploaded. I want to watch the Zaki interview because I haven't got a chance to watch the Zaki interview yet, and apparently that's a new one. Zaki, the game designer interview. All right, so I didn't get a chance to see this one yet. I was in New Zealand. I was actually in the office when they were recording this one, but this is their game designer and Monster Balance. And actually, out of all the interviews that I recorded while I was there, we did 5 interviews. They weren't really about Monster Balance and game design. It was more map design, audio design, art style, music, and then eventually one that will come out on 0.3. So this is one of the topics I actually didn't get to cover. So I'm kind of interested to see. I heard this one was a good one.
The hyena boss has killed me a ridiculous number of times.
Here we go.
I have no question. I'm just salty about it.
So it's another one of these. I see.
So yeah, what do you do?
It's a good question. What do I do? Sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing. That's the beauty of it. Primarily, I balance monsters. It's kind of like quality checking them, which isn't just balance. It'll be like, oh, maybe the projectile could come out a little bit sooner, or the animation could be a bit slower or faster. It's just everything that goes into completing the fight and making it a finished fight.
And bosses as well.
Yeah, bosses. Definitely, bosses take the most time.
That's interesting to hear because, like, I think I die more than normal monsters and I die to bosses. Unless we're talking about one-shots, like I fuck up to Arbiter Hallway or I get Zest hand slammed too many times in a row. I feel like I do typically die to maps more than I die to bosses in general.
Meetings is probably where we differ from other companies. We don't really do that many meetings. We just do the work. You get more done if you don't have meetings.
That was a very like consistent sentiment. They don't like meetings over there because they think it's a giant waste of time, which honestly I think is based. The meetings are all like someone gets up from their chair and walks over to the other guy that they're working with in tandem to create something and talks about it, as opposed to like scheduling a meeting. They just get up and go talk to the guy.
Because we don't have like weekly stand-ups or anything like that.
No, none of that. Mark wants something, he'll just come out to you and tell you what he wants, and you just do it. Or tell him that it's a bad idea, and then think of something else.
How often does that happen?
Not very often.
Usually he knows what he's doing.
Usually he knows what he's doing.
Let me sit up. Look at this fuck chair. We don't even have functional chairs. What if I'm just like, oh yes, this is a good, yeah, look at this good blade.
Well, let's get right into spreadsheets then. We've got a few here. For us nerds, could you talk us through what we're looking at?
All right, this is a monster skill.
Wait, hold on. Where are they leaking here? Monsters, blighted spore areas. Okay, this must be for PoE 1. It says PoE 2. I guess they share the same database. You can answer this one without spoilers. Is 0.3 bigger or smaller than 0.2? You motherfucker, you're really trying. Okay, bigger. I'd say bigger. That's all you get out of me. Shut up now.
How do you decide how much damage a monster does? Like, I understand it's a bit different in PoE 1 and 2.
Yes. Well, okay, we have some kind of like, the average monster should do roughly X% of the player's health per hit. Just so you know, stuff isn't too easy or too hard.
You can't tell us what X is?
It's somewhere between 6 and 8, I think. So at least early games, so kind of like a wolf hitting you is going to kill you in like 5 hits, because early game you have less defense, but it's kind of a range. It's going to depend on your resistances and stuff. And then
Something about like people dying in the first act of PoE, whether it's PoE 1 or PoE 2, will never not be funny to me. Like dying to the row is just always fucking funny. Doesn't matter who dies. Doesn't matter if I die. It's always funny. Like dying to the wolves in Act 1. The Act 1 in PoE 2 is way easier than the PoE 1 one. Like the Roas are like infinitely harder than any part of PoE 2's Act 1, right?
it's kind of just vibes.
I feel like the dudes who are balancing have one of the hardest jobs over there. Like having to balance everything and then know the cascade of effects every time you tweak one number or add something new in the game. That's got to be like borderline impossible.
As designers, you often will get the brunt of the feedback for the game, right? Like, how do you deal with that emotionally? Like, is it?
Yeah, this is kind of what I was curious about. I'm super interested to see what the answer to this one, because I mean, I'm normally not the one on the receiving end of this stuff, but just like I said earlier, you can read one bad comment, it like ruins your day.
Get you?
I mean, I don't want to say I'm dead inside, but I don't know, none of it really phases me because it's like, it is what it is. Kind of terminally online. I'm kind of past the point of letting things online affect me. So I do a lot of reading, and I feel like you just have to find what's valid within the sea of all the feedback.
I've been told to ask you for your best Elk LFG impression.
Let me try and imagine the GIF in my head, even though I have aphantasia and I can't see it. It's kind of like, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that'll make people. Someone will make a GIF of that.
Yeah. It's like,
Okay, by the way, you guys are going to see this in one of the interviews. I'm not sure what exactly reminded me of this, but currently live in the game somewhere, and he didn't tell me. I think it's somewhere through the campaign though, or maybe I think it might have been one of the maps. I forget. I want to say it's one of the maps. There is an Easter egg in the game that no one has found yet. I think it's like a visual Easter egg. So I was talking to the artist guys. I think it was Blake that said that. So like there is somewhere in the game some live little visual Easter egg that they put in that no one's found yet. And he says he's constantly like checking Reddit and stuff to see if anyone like found. I think it's a reference to something, or he didn't give me really any hints. But did he tell you what it is? No, or else I would just like go find the Easter egg and be like, oh, look, I found this Easter egg, but make a great short. But like no, I don't know. He didn't spoil it. So there's somewhere there is an Easter egg, and that's what I know. Speaking of looking for things, how often are you guys flipping in Easter eggs?
Oh, not as much as I want. I wish we could get in more. There is an Easter egg currently in the game in one of the maps that no one's found yet.
Is that a hint in one of the maps?
One of the maps. It's one of the maps,
not
one of the
maps.
Campaign areas. It's live. It's been live since beta. And I check Reddit every once in a while to see if anybody's found it. Nobody's found it yet.
Do you have any cool tidbits or spoilers, things you could maybe tell us about what's coming up that we can sneak into the edit without anyone noticing?
I'm, as of today, working on some cool stuff for the Gauntlet, for Zizzarin's Gauntlet.
Oh, hey.
Some more custom stuff that...
That's, Zizzarin's Gauntlet is very soon, right? I had my head out of everything because I've been in the offices and then doing the New Zealand trip stuff, but this is like soon, right?
I'm going to make sure it isn't data mineable this time, and so it will surprise everyone when they get
it's
there.
Like very soon.
Oh, very cool.
Okay, yeah, that was actually a pretty good interview.
The mods will be similar to last time, but bosses should be harder. As far
wasn't the last gauntlet what they said like literally the hardest gauntlet they've made yet? Yeah, it was. So it's gonna be even harder. Okay. Waiting for them to make the easiest gauntlet. I want a reverse gauntlet, bro. I want baby mode. I want to log in on level 100 already, and my damage, like, why don't I get the mods instead of the monsters? I remember getting, what was it? The last time I died, I was pushing too fast in maps, and I think I went to like a yellow map way too fast and got shotgunned by the goats going through the core map, in the door. They had like spark plus additional projectiles or whatever, and I got shotgunned through the door, I think. But now they're doing they're doing Freesia, right? Aren't they having Freesia thing? I saw Tai say that he's doing volcanic fissure of snaking ancestral commander as a meme tweet, which means the Freesia ascendancy's got to be in there, right? And Junk said with 19 new ascendancies, he wants to see people do new shit. So that means, I'm assuming it's Freesia ascendancy plus Gauntlet. Haven't experienced a Gauntlet yet? This will be your first? Yeah, it's basically just like Giga hard mode version of PoE.
here you can see some of the things that you can win. So we got some pretty juicy stuff.
250x Dawn of the Hunt mystery boxes being given away. Pro wireless keyboard, some MTXs, a mouse, more MTXs, 1 terabyte card, more MTXs.
We got some pretty juicy stuff.
5070.
Really looking forward to seeing
and then a whole bunch of sets.
how hard everyone's going to push
5080.
this time. There should be something for everyone this gauntlet.
And then reach level 2, you get the gauntlets. And Act
If
10,
you
you
like
get the
these
Dawn of the
events and
Hunt
want to
mystery.
support us, we are selling t-shirts at shop.zizzarin.com. We're selling the Merciless t-shirts, and they look super cool. I hope you guys will enjoy them. And as always, thank you guys so much for the support. These events would not happen without you. We're super thankful.
Okay, I think that's going to wrap it for today. I'll be back again in the morning. I'm going to be live at 11 a.m. PST. Back to live stream every day. Also, Subathon, August 29th. Subathon, August 29th. All right, boys. See you tomorrow.